that for me, that was one of the biggest revelations. Understanding the way structure it here. Now, and also it also leads into repayment. Repayment also very straightforward. Yeah, I think 3.5 years, grace period to pay. Until just can now start here. Now, we start count it 3.5 years. So the first one I best start to say Butiano. Tamale Diano. Okay. Until my will be 1.5 years. Payment will be due. Now, it's here. Okay. And yes, sir, a 100 million Yamanina. As I say, because different million or different projects. Around the country, who say be EKOSIISEN. Okay. Now 10 lots, and Parliament approve here. Okay. Lots no, adenta dodo akaho. Okay. Tamale interchange. I go through according to their Parliament. They approve here no na amount for NTC because udi umana we niaje. Udi musu eneja. Na omo approve here no. FM. Omo approve 10 lots no. Me na dia madrin dia me shepan me kwano ozo kwan do adenta do wade na me ni da so pa se ja e be ko wi amaya na ja ya bi ya na ankon sa okay enti o share another one that lot 5 right exactly dualization of the Adenta Dodowa road exactly 14 kilometers of the Adenta Dodowa road will be dualized so as to reduce congestion, improve road safety, and reduce travel times on the corridor. Exactly. That's under lot 5. Internal lot 5. Now, share interchange. So, more so they call Western region. Yes. Almost yes. Inner city. That's your friends a PTC roundabout. Exactly. Yeah. And to share 10 lots in here together, more approve now. 6 of them are at various stages of completion. 6 out of the 10. Out of the 10, various stages of completion. Okay. So that make interchange Tamale Diana the most advanced, 90%. Yes. 4 no there start here cry. 4 no in start here cry. 4 no Adenta Dodowa no ka ho. I start here cry. And share. Now the only say 4 no you miss it a lot of the deadlines. Government man on one home because okay 2020 budget now. Adenta Dodowa dey say no. Mamen kind dia omo budget. We say that's paragraph 303. Evaluation of the remaining 6 lots is almost completed and work is expected to commence in the first quarter of 2020. Until first quarter last year last year no. Yeah. Honum baby na say starting. Ocean list na say bana. I say started start time na. Adenta Dodowa carriageway eka ho. Na nke say starting First quarter 2020. Okay. Yeah, of course. Maybe okay. Yeah, well, last quarter by and start here. Yeah. See say hona amra here nesa traffic Jack. Me diagro. Say no ntina. Onu me I mean me tell us me 57 me 50 bia o person crosses if you value view bad denta honoma. Traffic in 15 minutes maximum. Yeah. But traffic 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours be dim. Kwana so to track 15 minutes. We do 2 hours no track. And no one say na kwan me kai say budget bi mo mo so meye. And you could me come from my I must say that mo wie. Na denti na maye. Still I am. And I say e can SINOHYDRO. Oh okay. Enti me ko bisa mo because me te ho. A man for be brave so unse onipa who say we ready we draw. Now to be na obia bisa platform na onye ho hwe. Yeah. Enti me friend my friends at vice president. So vice president lead here. I mean I'm okay my name tell me. So let's have a conversation. That is how they started, and then of course he opened up to the bigger issue of the SINOHYDRO. And started, and started that their own data started. Okay. Now there's another question on my explanation. The question is, $2 million project, $2 billion project. We advertise, how come 3 years down the line, only 100 million besides, because it comes down to that question. Yeah. Explanation they said COVID buy and all. I mean this is official explanation. COVID buy and they slowed down China like a crowd, releasing on the funds and other things. But that raises additional questions. Okay. Kayo me say budget 2020 budget
2020 first quarter
of first quarter no kai na COVID no first recorded case of Ghana no I think in March.
Yes.
March.
February ending March.
Into no first quarter no.
Yes.
Into can you really say
a COVID
because also by start here the presumption is say part of you know that you have some mobilization to start. Can you say started now when
yes.
It's all started.
Yes.
Once a man hold that target now, then me say you 1 year some arrangement with me started. And it raises additional questions about it.
Yes.
Also because arrangement no Senate it's all started when raises certificate and so mama was coming. And you're starting the point that it's not dependent necessarily on SINOHYDRO
on the money coming. But you have to find money and start
it. Now I could just come. And then also ask a bit more questions to the thing. But the reality is that they've started some.
Okay.
Is it that the money to pre-finance at the beginning to show any new one now? Because that's one of the things that needs to be explained. And now say there's something else that we don't know. Okay, but for people, once you made a promise, okay, 2017, it's a big deal.
It was a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's 2 billion back. The amount for a lot of expectations.
Expectations was high.
Very
especially
high.
Now majority is going to roads,
Exactly.
Ghana the open roads.
No.
It's a big issue.
Quite the trial 3 years, obviously questions will be asked.
Of course.
So these are the answers so far. Abba. In fact, Kasano 2 months ago, no, 80 million Abba.
Okay.
And on my update say 20 million Abeka. I 100 million. But the interesting thing, additional interesting point is I will note to say, even the faces lots
Yes.
China released 646 million.
646 million.
Every 2 billion.
Okay.
But that 646 no, we release yes and say a buy account more. That is amount of money
available. Yeah.
We age man now
be
the question is into me scan is hamawa. Scan. I didn't know so still there are a lot of questions. I'm mathematical, of course. My at force in Casa or say I mean COVID. I say the mom kakrana or say no on the explanation they say because Chinese for no arrangement. This is the barter arrangement.
Yes.
We have to pay with a bauxite
refined bauxite.
Omasho who say start here and I'm not crying start here.
Yes.
The only thing I say you sign the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Authority for not signing recently. Or signing contract with the partner, the Rockshaw.
Yeah.
The after on my end, and I don't know some my mind but for challenges into us on my end.
And no signs our contract new year. Omono will be mining the bauxite. Akasa obesity refining,
smelting. It's a process no start here.
Yeah.
Into the explanation they say Chinese for no who say that what you are going to use to pay us
them
and you're ready. And they also won't give you the money when they haven't seen that you have and slowing it down. Now let's go back to that big controversy. It's around whether Adi a loan and I say a button. May besides that question, I'm going to explain this again. At the beginning of Kai, the insistence was this is an exchange barter arrangement. It's a mommy projects worth 2 billion.
2 billion.
Now me so mama bauxite refined bauxite equivalent. Now me do tiaka. Now you call me most kibia. It's not a payment and no traditional amount and a bit of loan. But me probably in under total record. Explanation about and say send a denial in case bauxite not to me and you're ready for us to pay and tamale diano repayment date no cash in I see it here.
I was the government of Ghana pays
exactly
with the interest and everything.
Exactly. See, we have to go back to the way we normally have serviced our loans. And there is a guarantee built into the arrangement with SINOHYDRO. So in case that repayment date no do, na
contingent liability is on government.
It's a government. Because of course the bauxite isn't ready. Okay. So then I took forcing point. They say if that's the case, and they say I bear loan, you know, I bear loan. But of course, only Dr. Lukasa, he says, they are confident, by the time Tamale interchange repayment no na omo confident say na box side already on betia, of course, but if you the experts they also raise a lot of questions because by mining, where you smelt or refine, it's a long process to get to the point where you can raise enough money to do. Also because it's taking you 3 years since you signed a deal, to get to a point of signing an arrangement with a partner, you know, that is going to take
and what
time.
It means, they say 3 years for the repayment to be due, you know, over start counting from when the project actually started. And yet time Parliament
signed exactly.
Okay.
Until that say all the projects, all of them will be due at the same time.
At the same time, that's true.
Okay, so
that's
to know the repayment date for a project, track back to time I started. Okay. 90 million. I mean, I don't know how much it will be. Tamale interchange. Okay, it started 2.5 years ago or 1 year ago. Now I calculate 3.5 years grace period. Okay, it comes down to the question: time now start time be I will be ready with the box site
to pay them.
But as it has now been explained, if that is not ready,
the government would have to find money to pay.
Money. And then I say it's of course going to add to our desktop conversation. You know, so in essence,
I'm told Evans said the technical advisor to the vice president and spokesperson of the vice president, Dr. Gideon Boakon, is on the line.
Okay.
In the end, nobody encomo. Now, answer no. Let me run through the lot. So there be more 8 years. And this is what Parliament
will be out there.
No will be out there. In lot 1 year, construction of Accra inner city roads. A total of 84 kilometers of road located in Trobu, Anyaso Tuom, Dome Kwabenya, Adenta, and Teshi. And on a for these areas, meaning say re-asphalting or more or some areas ne kahon. I mean, asphalt in the business. Some of the projects were upgrading and re-asphalting. Some of them are. Because I want Domi Kwabenya especially, you see some of these routes not happening.
Especially inner city routes.
In the Trobu Anyaso Tuom, Domi Kwabenya, Adenta, Teshi, lot 2 near. Construction of Kumasi and Mampong inner city roads. A total of 100 kilometers of inner city roads will be constructed in Kumasi and Mampong. In Kumasi, the affected road networks are in Manshia, Swame, Tafo, Pankronil, Asokwa, Kwadaso, Oforikrom, Subin, Inshiayaso, and Bantama. Udu Kumasi, so you would see a few of these roads underway in Kumasi. Lot 3. Construction of the Tamale interchange. Yajiatum say it's the most advanced of all the EKOSIISEN funded project and on about 90% complete. Tamale interchange. Lot 4, construction of the PTC roundabout interchange in Sekendi Takrade, the first interchange in the western part of our country. Udu Takrade and Swaivan Sisiano, Yefro Kwame Nkrumah roundabout. Sisia they've cordoned off the area.
Okay.
Amma utmuse some digging be
air koso
ewo.
I look at that's no so can
yeah.
Start.
Yeah, okay. Lot 5 Evans or pet project.
No, and then we start here cry almost starting my nigga. Because me who say a back line so bisano because me who be mo can say is me scheduled down to start end of year.
End of this year.
And confirm my
Adenta
bibi so ka ho by so confirm but amount for what sa kwan no ho no wo ka cho mo say start almost say challenge say who answer like JJ say see is believing.
Lot 6 near construction of Sunyani inner city and Brekum township road. A total of 39 kilometers of road will be constructed in Sunyani and Brekum township. In Sunyani, 29 kilometers of inner city road will be constructed, whilst Brekum township will see 10 kilometers of its road constructed. Lot 7 construction of Prestia township and Cape Coast inner city road. A total of 32 kilometers of road will be constructed in Cape Coast and Prestia. Cape Coast enya 22 and Prestia enya 10. Lot 8 upgrading of selected feeder roads in Ashanti and Western regions. 68 kilometers of feeder roads in Ashanti and Western North regions will be rehabilitated. Lot 9 rehabilitation of Akim Oda of Fuase Road Okay, wait,
o take minority for no ya mo bo pa was na meet e agboja bo pa say na kudo pa kuma start on can
we say this lot involves the rehabilitation of 38 kilometers Akim Odan Ofuasi Road, which is part of the Trunk Road Network IR3 and passes through several rural communities that connect Akim Odan to Ofuasi. Finally, a lot 10, construction of the popular Hohoi Jasikan Dodupepesu Road of the Eastern Corridor. This will involve the construction of 66 kilometers section of the Eastern Corridor Road between Hohoi to Jasikan and Dodo Pepeso. We can say under phase 2 of the SINOHYDRO, they are going under phase 1. Under phase 2 of the SINOHYDRO deal, which will come on stream after approval by Parliament, an additional 1,300 kilometers of roads, 3 interchanges, and 69 steel bridges will be constructed at an estimated $850 million US dollars.
Then amount will come to
69 steel bridges.
Wow. You see, but it's also becomes about managing expectations.
Yeah.
Because you see, what kind of sound? So we got it sounds
yeah.
The same way I started lot 1, first lot, first phase, same, but then people come and ask. I mean, the same way we are doing.
Of course.
2-3 years down the line, bridges,
69 steel bridges, 1,300 kilometers of road.
Phase 2,
SINOHYDRO phase 2. Sikano wahin. Dr. Gideon Boako akwabe EKOSIISEN soni.
Joseph.
Na apomo ye de.
Ya mradom bako. Kache Evans so de meka.
Wow.
And I want to say course to no wa shada so.
Oh sir. Okay, Mema Evans busa our first question. Afi meme de me questions there not Evans the Dr. Gideon Boako.
Oh, no.
What will be your first question?
Now, so the question there one per my man started with a dental dodo because everybody must I say be alternate
also pre-con.
Into patch up a dental dodo do carried way no. O share a budget 20 budget now. According to the finance minister, it was supposed to start first quarter 2020. First, I didn't start here. Now, the bank and the start.
Doc.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't do a carriage road. No, one of the lots of the phase 1 project. So phase 1 now, the 646 million. We had a few lots that had the financial closure. We had this now you could show your hojuma. And to some events kind of Nanka built to commence in the 2020. And COVID it disrupted the whole arrangements and the discussions, particularly with the financial insurance cover and then the cover. I'm charge just a few months ago, and you get over the header in your financial closure to the remaining lots under phase 1. And the Kumasi inner city roads, Accra inner city roads, and Adenta, Dodowa, Dua Carriage Road, a part of the phase 1. Financial closure now. So all of them now, the contractors are supposed to mobilize and move to site. And by the end of this year, work will begin on those 3.
Okay, Inti Sisiano, we should take this as confirmation, say for Uka say Dodowa, Adenta Dodowa, Kumasi inner city, right?
Yes.
And they are in Sunyani inner city. Accra inner city. And was said a Juma Shas here by close of this year.
Yes.
Okay. And contractors now have been picky contractors na dada.
Yeah, so we know basically it's EPC contracts. So SINOHYDRO and the EPC contractors.
Okay.
But the local content aspect of a Ghanaian companies, and then some aspects of the procurement. There are aspects where they have to let to Ghanaian contractors. So the main EPC contractor is
SINOHYDRO.
So we expect SINOHYDRO and any other contractors on best side to move to site for those 3 projects by the end of the year.
Okay. And you clarify when so say Usha and based on Evans, the Evans said to me, I shame the Atujano. Not just say Jumana Kakra, ye raise certificate, payment certificates na China for no release car Eddie Amayen. Does it mean say government of Ghana there was say ye pesca Eddie preference Anna?
No. Usha the entire arrangement and the Senate is not from time I fully China by and us. As far as these SINOHYDRO projects are concerned, the government of Ghana has nothing to do with the finances. SINOHYDRO as a company and a more EPC contract agreement with government of Ghana. I was said almost deliver infrastructure, basically roads infrastructure, worth $2 billion. And the government of Ghana and the air preference and SINOHYDRO also emphasis government of Ghana say fire Juma government of Ghana and Etnase now was selected a number of projects. I now engineers, accountants, and the technical team from the government side, and the technical team from the SINOHYDRO side at Nasi. Now, I can say, okay, government of Ghana offers away this number of kilometers of roads. I was Sunyane. The technical teams went Nasi. They put the cost together. Any materials, equipment that to be required, no more cost. No one was okay. So, number of kilometers, your construct was Sunyane. About $40 million. So both parties must come into agreement that we agree on the cost. Now, say project now, I guess it cost $30 billion, and maybe I SINOHYDRO for that I say 40. No move your 40 music no. And the government of Ghana so then it cost 50. Well, in real terms, it cost 40. So both parties must agree on the cost of the project. Number 2, both parties must agree on the requirements, measurements, the materials, and the So when they settle on that, then the incidence becomes what they have agreed on. Then SINOHYDRO has the responsibility to deliver that particular project in the nature and scope agreed by both parties. So I want to get some and if better materials and be Ghana, some credit percentage number of related to Ghanaian contractors, any other contractors they will engage. The SINOHYDRO has a responsibility to settle all the financial obligations that arise out of that. The Ghana side, yes, is a project now, you deliver mutatis mutandis as we have agreed. That is what it is.
Okay. Yes, Evans, question.
I mean, Doc, maybe so. In terms of the delivery and payments, as you've explained, China for no more releases kind of sharing, but but isn't also the case, sir? Before they release any amount, there has to be evidence of work done before the release, according to yes,
No. The thing is that they are not releasing any money to anybody. More responsibility. Some will be deliver projects. So, more complexity. No more they are paying Jumano. Yeah, the association is a Jumano. More pay to satisfaction. Now, if you say a Jumano, a cancer or more aye. Of course. Whatever monies are almost drawn down, and how they spend it, and then government of Ghana has some level of visibility, but that is not the most important thing. The most important thing is a Jumana Yagi yellow, what to make deliver the same thing and at the cost. You can't say, you can't say, yeah, there are 10 million. We are not the country, you bought 15 million. No, we won't agree.
Okay, but the other question as a follow up is the 2 billion, what we know is the SINOHYDRO deal. Does that mean, SINOHYDRO as a company and as a party to this whole arrangement, I'm going to say deliver projects, no? That 2 billion itself, no? If we SINOHYDRO for now, a Chinese government are available, a saying
SINOHYDRO, no? I think it's a Chinese government company.
Government company, okay.
And the more and a source of funds from Chinese banks. And the Ababe Jumana. So I'm not too sure whether it is provided by the Chinese government and as a private bank, but I know that most of the Chinese companies are more Jumawa Africa and their sources of funds are basically government companies. Okay,
the information we have said thus far, you draw down between 80 to 100 million US dollars, no? Meaning, SINOHYDRO, a Juma to the tune of 80 and 100 million. And Omonya Husika, and I say, Honor to saying.
I'm not too sure the exactitude of the 80 or 100 million dollars. Perhaps if you access projects in the state said to between Ministry of Roads and SINOHYDRO, which can have an official figure. I'm not privy to the 80 to 100 million, but whatever amount that it is that they have spent. EKOSIISEN draw down $100 million. I was $100 million now. We are one equivalent of projects. And we're gonna have engineers and technical people quantify on which Makasampa $100 million are almost so much draw down. And which you prepare and no my anything short of that would be inappropriate.
But what is the level of interest of the vice president office in this? For example, say you can say it be 100 million. The office of the vice president to be able to get us the information. Okay, based on your checks, projects so and so have been done. Corresponding to 100 million. More level of interest, not the same.
Oh, level of interest, Mr. First, the vice president's office is an office under this government. I represent the Kufuor government. We are part of the office of government machinery. Anything that concerns this government equally concerns us, the vice president. The most important thing, also government delegation called China, and Namso Sabreno, SINOHYDRO facility by vice president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and President Kufuor. How is the only delegation and China, and I buy so whatever package that came out of that trip from Vice President Bawumia and attitude and I mean also if you actually a bobo or car into one vice president the leading delegation more or less although government agencies and ministry departments and share the implementation. The vice president's office more or less has an oversight responsibility to make sure that you follow up agencies now more implementation be able to and it's part of the normal government duties as a vice president as and when president there assigned and as often a particular project that or she say everything so that is our interest.
Okay, but do you know, sir, as we speak, SINOHYDRO for because yes, they also deliver project worth $2 billion. But have they gotten that $2 billion commitment no ewo I name say come what may, all things being equal, they would have that money to deliver the project.
The project no any delivery no it's based on requirements or time and into your fees, and then we have the drawdown procedures. It is only when project be IAQ for commencement now you draw down and now the exact amount that has been drawn down. But as to whether $2 billion a year fiscal cash I go SINOHYDRO for accounts sitting down doing nothing now in financial prudence, but nobody will even do that because your boss on compensate or better boss at all. Now, a two hours a day, and will be a 1 year time. Not coming out, and not boss or not a few soon.
No, no, me busa say ye nim say omo was a commitment. The emphasis say banks crown almost sources can fear. Do they have those agreements with banks? Sikano available anytime T. Omo here Sikano. That's the question.
Yeah, SINOHYDRO has assurances from their banks. When I say assurances, it's not just assurance in an abstract sense. Assurances in terms of preparatory paperwork, indicative arrangements, and the money bank side. As and when we are ready to draw down on the facility, the banks are available to provide us. So those assurances are there. That is why government of Ghana, in the first place, G2 said they have the capacity to do that, and we entered into that agreement with them.
Okay, Evans. Yeah, now
me doc, OSHA 2020 budget confirms a position that was expressed by government, I think 2 years before, a year before that the SINOHYDRO had made available $646 million US dollars. Out of the $2 billion, say, that amount, it was there for us to access. So, I mean, for the project, it was there for it to be used for the project purposes. I mean, question, let's say, if that amount was there, and in fact the budget confirms it, Argentina still only 100 million. I mean, worth of, because I mean 80 million alolo kacheme. But this morning there was an update. We are working with 100 million.
100 million.
Argentina, if 646 million was available, Argentina years later, we are talking about only 100 million. Wait, me explain it.
So project finance and any project execution, you can have your money available. So, there were 50 million cities. I was saying to see that. And yes, I also with that corona. Now I spend the 50 million cities that they see that. You think so, okay, I was saying to foundation. Maybe the first 2 months of the foundation. The way they use superstructure, but the time sit there. And the OSHA projects I hear Ghana have to say it is interchange with I Prana. Yes, at the start, you could see but it takes sometimes 3-4 years. They are completely projects, because projects they also our time at that idea. Then also you overseas 46 million. For 20 years projects of about 10 lots. Some of the lots are in your approval, and then ones have and then to clear the data on intention. The outcome so now I was just SINOHYDRO and the Repayment before a Shayan City or Ansana or Masters. And see, usually it's not always the case that the process can over or 6 coming out to spend on preoccuped fees and projects be also a little to 300 time. But what strikingly also occurs, and every guy explaining with respect to identity door and commerce university near crying because of COVID, and then the license slow down economic activities. Simon Shaw, and my insurance cover. it got to a point because of the ramifications from COVID. And no one to the process is meant to mount content, even in the semi-accommodated factory or China, they affect your a human cost. So office work and processing law, it delayed a lot of it. It can also come with it, and sometimes you see the significant delays in some aspects of the project. But it's not a delay or something that is not clearable. Since once COVID began to subside, we've seen the energized move coming into the whole process.
The final bit, Doc, about repayment, in the name say as part of this arrangement, your grace period be our best start at year. Now you back, we are paying with refined bauxite. Say you share the EKOSIISEN. That process to begin refining the bauxite near Adeno, you share down completely. Meanwhile, so we share even the most advanced project under SINOHYDRO na Tamale interchange. It started somewhere 2019, I think December. 2019, yeah. Yes, and I just say 3.5 years from that time, by 2020.
So tops year or 1 year, 1.5 years to go.
Yeah, in the year 2023, right?
Yeah, 2020. Yeah,
2023. Oh, baby. Doc, would we be ready by that time to pay this thing back with refined diamond, bauxite?
Yeah. So principally, now government intent for repayment. Bauxite proceeds ultimately. Now you just say you refine your bauxite and then you added value. But in the project, you make room for other unanticipated occurrences. And so, what kind of agreement in the we also had a clause in the agreement a bank client to use other alternative sources to finance it should it happen. At the time that the facility is due for payment, the refined bauxite for some reason is not available. So that window of opportunity is available to the government of Ghana. Ultimately, showing was you're meeting a bauxite around to year. Now I am ready at the time of payment every year. But the Kobasa is payment in IET, and of course, because of the way IET structured, you wouldn't have to make a balance payment at the time because projects are exactly on a different date, and so the payments will come based on project start date. They are in bits and bits. If you do it, so payment be agreed. Now, both sides, and yet available. It will not be a breach of the agreement in the government of Ghana. Ever share other alternative sources. Now, or they are making the financial commitment that was part of the agreement.
Okay, Evans, I think we've covered almost all the questions here. Doc, you better say you better monitor as and when it becomes necessary. Say you better back, and we'll come back. I think finally we'll be on the phase 2. Was we are told say phase 2 will kick in subject to approval from Parliament. And time being Eco Parliament, me bacho.
You the necessary arrangements for phase 2, say I did call Parliament. In fact, I may not be able on this radio to say with executives date say and ever call Parliament, but I know the government once you have the necessary approvals from the technical teams, government side cabinets definitely to go to Parliament, but I don't think it's something that ever go beyond the soonest possible of time.
Doc, that's it. Bibionia, you best answer about Hobio. Why? Yeah, that's it. I mean, sure. Dr. Gideon Boakon Ekasa Emma, His Excellency the Vice President of the Republic, and I'm AD and Como Evans Minsa Ewa head of the Political Affairs Desk Ewo Joy News or studio. I mean, your sabons. We go to share ne Juma Wire on total recall on the SINOHYDRO $2 billion deal and where we are with that particular arrangement. And the Dr. Gideon walking in the home command, but you go so Casanani and Sa Eka the Ejura Committee report. Evans on the Ejura Committee report, my kind recommendations. No, I think on the SINOHYDRO, we'll continue monitoring. Now, yeah, share where we go from here because again, even under lot 1, lot 1, even under phase 1 project, no. And I think we have to continue with the monitoring.
Of course, it's very important.
And making sure, especially the Adenta do one.
Or say Adenta do one end
of year, yes.
Let's say when I'm meeting, the monitoring it's evidential every morning, evening,
and one of the things we should also ensure, and the local content into Ghanaian companies have benefited from
exactly.
This thing, no?
I mean, part of the work, some archival material I saw. One of the projects a Baumiane Roots Minister, Amakata Omokubiano. No?
Yeah.
It was one of the key things Amakata campaign said they will make sure say a local companies.
Of course.
I guess going forward, no. Tamale say bisa. I mean, which local partners were there? Have they benefited?
Very important.
You know, I mean, I know, for example, when as part of this work, you know, Martina Bugri the project manager, for example, was a Ghanaian.
Okay.
I mean, so of course that's
technology transfer. Very important.
The manager who you spoke to was a Ghanaian. But are there businesses that were benefiting? Are there local Ghanaian constructing company? Exactly. Yeah. Those are very important.
Very important because $2 billion investment into your country. You know, and some of these development partners now are smart. When they make the monies available, they make sure say about with some conditions. Eventually, next come back to the country. You know. And I remember say under for time and I see the various stadia for Can 2008. You know. All the Chinese companies, they were providing the funding. In the Chinese companies, I remember saying in Takrade, secondly. Workers now were from China. Workers now for the stadium proper. All the workers were from China. A few contracts and more outsourcing local and outside. Outside the stadium, there was a go a be a wall. If I open Ghanaian contractors, you know, it's something we have to be very particular about, especially when any grant. We are paying back. There should be a way. Yes, you have benefit.
Absolutely.
Because a wood or the bauxite air cost.
Because you raised a very important point. Why are we even allowing the Chinese to dictate? Because it's almost it's almost as the Chinese themselves have a bigger say in terms of the projects being done.
Absolutely.
And the money. Because I mean the money is not like what they're mining.
Yes.
All we do is to agree with them. Okay.
Which project? How much it will cost?
The scope,
the requirement,
and then all we do is to go and make sure that what we agreed is what they are doing. Who they give it to is almost like
it's
I mean, what can some pound because chia back. It's not money for free.
And you're free.
So why have we allowed them to have this arrangement where they seem to have a bigger say or control over the projects? Meanwhile, on my job music on the back anyway.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, it raises very fundamental questions.
Because I recall, I recall say we share someone in Yamuransa. Good. From Yamuransa through
I mean, it's a specific for a specific project. It makes sense.
It was a Japanese grant, and a President Kofonsa Kai, and Omodi through a same process. It's a world class road. That was a grant. A Japanese company in the area. Because one of the actual.
I saw Mako Bang and Mako Jilum. Not Bang and say, my mamma loan, me Tiana back and so say, me person me talk, me person me to me car. Mesela me toka idea me to BMW see DB me more room me toka na ma
me toka
na me ship ya ma me ya ma na me da be so fie say adeng
and I say me ma loan but loan we na me dey ma no car we nko na mpesa wo de
or car
wo de abra loan so message atua ne I think
it raises questions.
Yeah, that's why we have to be a bit more now you make sure say local economy will benefit hugely because $2 billion is huge. You recall say the biggest loan not Ghana as a country at the time when they signed the CBD $3 billion. It was the biggest loan.
Yeah, and it's
and $1.5 billion penny buy. Interestingly, and only the see a trouble gas plant. And after that, the other big at a goal loan. We have to make sure.
I mean, my other concern is that the pace of release, it seems very slow. And very slow. Because 3 years ago, 2018, was a parliamentary approval. Then it takes you 1 year later to start the first project. Now, I mean, I don't see 80 million, but of course, there's an update. If you can call upper limit of 100 million out of 2 billion, tiny drop in the ocean. Somebody needs to push this a bit more because it's about projects. It's about projects and and roads in Ghana
it's huge.
I mean, that's fundamentally and I saw more cancer than the roads minister and a taiko pie or quabiso. I mean, it's important. Can you imagine how many people? I don't know it's important, but what raises a very important question about the control the Chinese still have with the money that we're paying them back.
Still have.
That's kind of idea.
Because we are paying with bauxite. If I refine
bauxite,
into easy. On a block, baby. Yes.
Na me Rose Committee chair.
Yeah, at the time no Rose Committee chairman of Parliament.
Me chair most of deliberations, especially concerning the contract agreement. Lot time in our family. Me transfer me. Nana mu raise issues about
local content.
Maybe I met e wo do me kwabenya. Yes. Mesre political leadership no. Say we civil servant into me. I was saying you to me Buaniama amount for benefit from the project who say
SINOHYDRO.
Exactly, because baby I know what Taifa Domi Comenia constituency. 2 major projects are going on. Baku SINOHYDRO and Baku GOG.
SINOHYDRO the in project based specific
road.
Okay, from here to here.
Well, inner city.
Inner city.
Taifa.
Okay.
And here we are starting bitumen surface. The stage of what you see on my drains, and on my hall, you can't hold now. So what the gravels that is stage where they are now.
Okay.
And say political leadership no hona ma for who say
SINOHYDRO.
Na niam hu na minimum say SINOHYDRO ni nyina local contractors na wo. It is a which ye Gideon Boakwa okay bibi SINOHYDRO for and a subletting project in the
local contractors.
In the agreement, not specifically local contractors, but looking at this as it is, as a SINOHYDRO for you should then need international contractors be specifically. Go grounds, my local contractors in there no more. Unlike other loans, the grant I could have say now a Chinese and a foreign contractors na you maybe in most cases local contractors who
are chosen by
SINOHYDRO. But you were Ministry of by law, the act that established Ministry of Roads and Highways. Will be a new council constructing road. I just a Ministry of Roads and Highways. It's SINOHYDRO Department of Urban Roads and our residents engineer, residents engineer also by vice road. Now on report to the Ministry of Roads and Highways. IPCs entry payment certificates contract and Jessica. I was SINOHYDRO for a Ministry of Roads and Highways never perfected that certificate. Say approval. You say baby why you do not do technically no you get to and powers was spending school your measurement here and estimate and who say was spending this much into afiyama IPC near sign it was the IPC in the back SINOHYDRO no akwaji ska yes be a job say
pre-finance question about mu no
and yes, John almost said, what can be this? What it means, honorable, per contractor who say SINOHYDRO demand local contractor. So local contractor be the mobilization.
Aqua site. Specifically local contractor because and clause be a say there's a local content
component.
Yes, component.
Exactly.
Into that free say obetumi am a foreign contract and local contract depending on the type of project. If you company local contract any capacity to do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, say some of the interchanges, you know, now into ba kwetama interchange, obi hu need na local contract and a foreign contract be capacity. Oh yeah.
But was who now be mobilize
600 plus million dollars. Says Cabinet Parliament na buy. I must say the government of Ghana council and I found the bill a release. I just said, this money is available. Any time they are up to this level, we'll be able to pay. Confidence. Government make contractors never
just to break it down.
Yes.
I didn't hear 2 billion. 2 billion no 646 no.
For the first phase.
Upe scar. You fit 646 exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm only clear say contractors in the drawdown.
Okay.
And the government of Ghana.
Yes, of course.
But clarify government approval IPC
the Ministry of Roads and Highways and also licensing the beneficiary of the road in terms of ownership. It is no approve myself IPC with the right to go for your money. Then you go pre-financing. It is sanity. It is 600 million. Local contractors confidence. Now government of Ghana's confidence. Okay, we put my
see.
Now can
I raise additional questions? If that's the case, I'm confidence. Why do we still have a case in Adenta Dua, for example, or the other 4 lots now and starting? Because the 646 is there.
It's there for first phase.
So it brings up that question strongly. Why has it still not started? Because the money is there.
When Dr. Ekasano, say road construction. At times, young politicians they are not here pre. Marking road now. Say road you better pay near regular pampas. Yes. Now the actual budget. But Ubaya didn't baby not technocrats, no Ministry of Roads and Highways, engineer catch you say, okay, let's start. Preparation, estimate, valuation, near being our crown, not a no 3 to 6 months. Meanwhile, the Southern original pampas, so I cut a sword. Back, I don't know, the lace cut.
The sword has been cut, right?
Very important because when it came up after the show, an expert in areas and or say I didn't know almost on Bayano and almost at the end of year. Is it the physical movement to site by the contractor? You see the work happening, or because they have to now do the designs.
The designs.
They have to now do environmental impact assessment. They have to now do compensation valuation project. They have to now do the resettlement plan.
Yes.
Compensation. So buildings be not affected. Projects be affected. See a bugu. Nipa no krana dani to accept the compensation. Ebi kra ko wi okot.
Asem.
Ebi kra ko wi okot. Nti enya so smooth to say nya kan ni iguso.
But it's more car. It's good that you want or the other politicians and create problems. It's more car. No man can hear
create problems. Maxim,
when I prayer. I want to believe, sir. Because the way you see about starting in December, hopefully by that time, we would get there and see the contractors actually
on site.
For which reason, Rebecca said, okay, all these things have been done in the design, impact assessment, compensation payment, because grace period was so many years. So end of year, boom, contractor will move to site.
As government of Ghana, yes, but to say, assurance level from SINOHYDRO never caution. Don't forget, say SINOHYDRO should be per se. Once we be in readiness to pay back.
Absolutely.
Now, Obashan and saying, you set out this aluminium.
Ghana Integrated Authority.
This were conditions, and I was working. You be meeting those conditions. Now we have met it.
No, we haven't met it.
We've set up.
No, we've met it. What we've done
to do.
No.
What
we've done is to sign a contract with the partner. That's the beginning. That's the beginning of the process.
I want us to see the beginning.
We are sending me away from Geardec. Or say Geardec is at various stages of execution with 4 key projects. In the project 1, Awaso Mine. Awaso Mine. 2, the Nyinahini Impasaso Mine. 3, the Nyinahini. Again, okay, in the Nyinahini Impasaso, no, still are under project 3. And a Chebi Mine, the project 4. Omuria, the refinery follows. And a smelter. The smelter will be the final one. The final project. But the information accompanying this, Nene say, Obi, Tamale interchange commenced in December 2019. So repayment should be due by late 2024. That is 3.5 years post the start of the project. Note that bauxite mining is already ongoing at Awaso. And all what's planned in the coming month is to ramp up the production while the project work leading to the construction of the smelter is proceeding. So even without the smelter, Ghana should have gathered enough funds from raw bauxite sales from Awaso and Nyinahini to settle the bills from the first lot falling due after 3.5 years post the commencement date of the project. Raw bauxite mining will definitely have to precede the smelter construction at both Awaso and Nyinahini. In simple terms, the SINOHYDRO contract basically entails the delivery of project/infrastructure to Ghana by the Chinese in return for payment from the proceeds of bauxite alumina, that's processed bauxite, by the government of Ghana. I'll say Tamale interchange is scheduled for completion in early 2022. So the government of Ghana will still have almost 2 years outstanding to mobilize funds in order to settle that bill, about $35 million when it falls due. Remember that the $2 billion is the master facility, but out of that total, only the first phase of $650 million has been granted approval to start work. The remainder of the $2 billion has not yet been approved for commencement. So we should only be concerned with the $650 million first and the corresponding lot. This is an engineer very close to some of these projects, and or the way they are bringing some really good information there. Honorable,
but just a short one. When we say contract agreement, and even the financial agreement, they are perceived that that lean way of saying to me, I'm fat bauxite, and directly, we can pay by cash. So also what's to the raw sales of raw bauxite. Yes. It boosted the confidence of SINOHYDRO to continue the project.
Okay. Mamine Evans on the Ejura committee report. Now Evans enya ye hon kwana fe yentwa ye nkomot. Hey, honorable. Oba no smiles in the mail. Fantastic. In the member host is here. Evans, recommendations from the Ejura committee. Number 1. And let me add, say a 55-page report. 55-page report. And it will just concentrate on the recommendation later. You're going into some of the details. Number 1, I'll say the committee recommends adequate compensation for the families of the 2 deceased persons, namely Abdul Nasser Yusuf and Mutala Suraj Mohammed. Adequate compensation must also be paid to other injured persons, namely Luis Ayikba, 20 years, Awal Misbah, 16 years, and Nasif Nuhu, 30 years. These are the names known to the committee. In the way known to the committee, compensation. The committee unfortunately fell short of stating the amount. In the government and CASA determine what will be adequate compensation. Number 2, the committee recommends the immediate transfer of the district police commander of Ejura, DSP Philip Kojo Hammond, first for his incompetence in handling the situation and for the fact that his relationship with the community seems to have been damaged beyond repair. 3, we further recommend the structural expansion of the Ejura police station and an increase in personnel. 4, we recommend the removal of the Ejura Sechedumasi Municipal Chief Executive, Honorable Mohammed Salisu Bamba, since his continuous presence as MC would exacerbate the already tense security situation.
And I say check recent nomination. He
pulled out. Okay. He even pulled out. Okay. 5. It is further recommended that the military establishment review the actions of the section on the ground led by Lieutenant Martin Opoku-Edusei for the inappropriate use of force and apply appropriate sanctions.
That is a significant one.
Very.
That is a very significant one.
Very.
So it goes to the to the evidence. Thanks to Rastos.
Absolutely.
A show video because okay, the committee
inappropriate use of force.
Yeah, that's a strong one.
Number 6. We further recommend the training of RECSEC, the Regional Security Council training, MUSEC, the Municipal Security Council, and DISEC, the District Security Council officials in the Ashanti region. Yes. We further recommend the training of RECSEC, MUSEC, DISEC officials in the Ashanti region in conflict and crisis management. Very telling. At the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, at least once every year.
There be a Dr.
Vladimir Chidanso. Very telling. It tells where admission say RECSEC and MUSEC.
They were failures along the chain.
Yeah. In conflict and crisis management. Number 7, we recommend the development of a joint standard operative procedure (SOP) for military/police operations, including roles for indispensable allied agencies like the NIB, National Investigations Bureau, NADMO, Ghana National Fire Service, and National Ambulance Service.
Me surprised we don't have that already. I mean, because police and military fund there, they've been working
together
for a long time. And to think that we don't have a standard, operating procedure, that's serious. Yeah.
Very. 8, we further recommend that the NCCE should intensify its public education in relation to rights, obligations, and civic responsibilities of the people of Ejura. Specific. 9, it is further recommended that all crowd, riot, crisis control units be made to wear body cams. Very, very important. Body cams, that's body cameras. And all vehicles and mobile gadgets employed must also have cameras. Wow.
No, it's important because there are people who when the Ashanti region minister before the committee, you beside this almost one video because now on the contention they say video is not one-sided.
One-sided.
And besides will be and also will be. On one clip be police route van blue Kesiano.
Yes.
Now a man for youth. They were following it on through stories. Ebisana say, where's the source? Or say, of course, you can't provide the source. And if you had policemen and military men and vehicles all with their own cameras now, you're capturing, the video in real time. Then of course you bring the other one, the media, then you compare. You can come to a very fair conclusion. It's a very good call.
The final recommendation is we recommend the establishment of a sports and other recreational facility in Ejura under the Zongo Development Fund specific, so as to rechannel the energies of the
youth. As they say, the devil finds a
job for the
idle hand. That's an interesting one.
Sports and other recreational facilities in Ejura.
But one this can be misconstrued as are you trying to suggest, sir? Because it's the way this is communicated. So just say it's because we didn't have recreation facilities. That's why. Because if you go to the fundamental underlying issue, and so you have to ask yourself, even if they had recreation facilities, would that have prevented the anger that they showed because of Kake's death?
Because the real trigger was Kake's death. And in fact, so we'll share findings in this report. Finding number 1, Evans, because we note from the onset that an examination of the entire evidence obtained clearly demonstrate that the death of Mohammed Ibrahim aka Kaka, served as the catalyst that triggered the disturbances which took place in Nigeria on the 28th and 29th of June 2021, culminating in the death of 2 persons and injuries to 4 others. In the establishment,
that is key.
What
can be about media?
Going through the
because the media generally coverage was such an important part of the in terms of.
But interestingly, Evans, I also findings findings 28 points under the findings. I'm yet to see 1 point here dedicated solely to the media.
Okay. I mean, it'd be an interesting thing to see if that was, because there many people are more aware of the view say media coverage also contribute some way to the of course I mean we totally disagree with that, but I mean I'm looking forward to see what they might have said about that.
Because I will share for example say evidence before us, that is Exhibit B series and F series, tended by both Erastus Asare Donko and Edward Oponmafo of City News, clearly shows that the burial of the deceased Kaka was without any violence until the arrival of the police riot vehicle at the cemetery. It is therefore our finding from the evidence before us that the presence of the riot vehicle at the cemetery and on the 29th of June was an act of provocation.
That's a very, very important finding,
which incensed an already angry and violent youth, thereby culminating in the attack on the police riot vehicle.
No, I mean that is because this is at the heart of the controversy, because a lot of the the officials maintaining say. Even the police statement, can say na amanfo no omo ba no blocking roads, and the police for intervening to stop the roads. The committee have found that's not true. That's not because true. Me kai pa munchu statement. I was doing PMS and Obi sending me a message. One of the people from the drive, just another person, who was saying that it's just the same finding. They were simply at the cemetery. They're going to bury them. And riot van about and they describe where the cemetery is. The cemetery is completely off the main road.
Okay.
It was inside community baby. And the video now who say a regional minister and the mom chasing van. It was on a death patch,
of course,
close to the cemetery.
Close to the cemetery.
The panel argument they say the vehicle came to their domain. It wasn't as if the vehicle was, on the road doing its normal monitoring. They sort of saw the vehicle in their domain. They're going to bury it. There was the provocation, which is exactly what the committee has found.
Committee now established what provoked the attacks. If I can see something on Erastus echo before, because on my year, like can be about all witnesses are. Witnesses one after the other. In the witness be a witness testimony of Babema, or more a capture nina a war and a very interesting report, but said Evans Sakano will take time and go through it. Not the woman Timmy at the Abremonti, and you may I hope say Mobe joining Evans on top story at 5:30 and after News 9 Timmy Akom Evans. It's been great having you on our show. Thank you so much. Evans Mensa and Yetini Kanoni, head of the political affairs desk Joy News. Ma yemfa we yen twa so na afei memra enemanya former MPs